Welcome to part 2 of the video on how to create a custom rustic picture frame and personalized name board. Today, we're going to take a detailed look at the plans and graphics on how to make this project. So if you're ready, let's get started. Welcome to the Lit channel, where we're always learning interesting things. Okay, so what you're seeing here is a graphic representation of the final product of the custom picture frame and personalized name sign. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the name elements and the cloud backboard, and what you'll see is we're left with the frame elements and the two backboards. For this project, we decided to use a 2-inch frame around the outside of the project, and the reason why we chose that measurement we'll explain here shortly. So if we remove the frame and the frame elements, what we'll find is that we're left with the backboards. And the measurements that we chose for the backboards are as follows. We chose 15 inches across the top, and we chose 12 inches total on the side. So in order to get that 12 inches total, we made sure that each backboard measured 6 inches. And the reason why we chose 6 inches and we chose the same size backboards is because having them both the same size will make sure that we can measure the center point very easily when we're attaching those elements later on in the project. So now that we have our backboard measurements, let's take a look at the frame. So here's a green representation of how the frame elements will work. In addition to liking how the 2-inch frame looked, the reason we chose a 2-inch frame was to help us make placement very easy when attaching the frame to the backboards. By using a 2-inch frame, we're able to have 1 inch of overlap from the frame element onto the backboards, and that extra inch will ensure that we have plenty of surface area for wood glue and for using the brad nailer when attaching the frame to the project. So the total measurement of the project when you add the frame to the backboards is 17 by 14 inches. The way that we calculated that is by taking the original 15 inches measurement of the backboard and adding the extra inch overlay on each side to give us a total of 17 inches. And then similarly, on the side measurements, we took the original 12-inch measurement of the backboards and added the extra inch on the top and bottom to give us a total of the 17 by 14 inches. So once we had the total measurements of 14 and 17 inches, we had to figure out the measurements and how to cut the 45-degree miters in all 4 corners. When we use the 45-degree miters to join the frame elements, we have to take into consideration that the measurements on the inside of the project and the measurements on the outside of the project are going to be different. The reason it's important to make sure that we have these measurements correct is because everything needs to be square when we're putting everything together. So once we got all the measurements on the outside correct, the measurements on the inside for our project should come out to 13 inches and 11 inches on the inside of the project. That'll help us calculate the squareness of the project, and that'll help us make sure that we've got all the right measurements when we do our dry fit. So once we have all the frame elements figured out, all we have to do is add the frame to the project, and then once we've done that, the only thing that we have left to do is paint and attach the cloud backboard, and then the last thing to do is paint and attach the name elements and the hearts, and now the project should look something like that with a little bit more of a rustic look once we're complete. Now that you've seen part 2 on how to create a custom rustic picture frame, be sure to check out part 1 so you can see how all the steps work when you're creating this project. If you stayed through the entire video, thank you. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel to get notifications about upcoming future episodes. I hope you have a great day, and remember, let's always continue learning interesting things.